Sydney. How are you? I'm just setting up. Sorry, my hair is air drying and it's looking wilder and wilder as the moments go by. Hi, Ash Lily. Or Ashley. Ash Lily. Ash Lily. That's pretty. Rhonda, Renee, Salty, Michelle, Diana, Casey. Hello, hello. Give me one more second here. I just got to finish setting up. There's Lavender's Lysol, Salma, Emmeline. That's a pretty name. Lainey. Hello. I am $1 Million Month Mama. Joy. Lester. Hello. Okay, I better really get this finished setting up though. One moment. Participant mode. Subscribers. There. That should make it easy. What's up, Keisha? Hello, Nick. Wish fulfilled state. Hello. Keisha, you've just jarred my memory. I still have to put that post up in regards to your new, I don't know what to call it, side business, side adventure. Oh, I can't wait to find out. See, this is one of the reasons why you gotta join the exclusive lives. I think you should join the Advanced Manifestors, but the Advanced Manifestors will give you access to the exclusive lives. So you get to join that group anyway, because we share all the success stories. It's so exciting. Tomorrow can't come fast enough. Tell me about it. I'm excited. You know what, Lester? I am too. I've been riding the wave. Oh, Poop has her toy with her still, which you're going to hear her whining in regard to this turkey. Or chicken or whatever it is. It still makes noise. And she will whine and bring it to me. So just like she gets frustrated that it's still functioning, living, breathing. I don't know. Huh, Poop. Little ninja cakes. Well, I'm glad you're here. Won't be aside for long. Ooh, I'm excited for you. A chicken with no beak. Yeah, she took the beak off, but it's still. I think that's the part that's up. Hear her whining? I think that's what's got her pissed. Is it's still whining? That's her. Here? Is it pissing you off? I know, she goes. I did a nice embodiment meditation right after, and I just feel all sorts of yummy. Yay. I'm glad to hear this. Poop is living her best life. She is. She's the boss. What's up, D? Hey, Kim, I've been a subscriber. This is my first time commenting. Love the content. Well, thank you so much. Any advice for someone in a financial bind and needs to manifest money quickly? Yes. First of all, more than likely, okay, outside of the fact that, like, duh, you needed to tell me that in order to ask the question, right? Okay, so put that aside for a second. Who do you really believe you are? What's your true identity? Is it someone who's in a financial bind? Is it someone that, never has enough money? Or we worry about money? Money's hard to come by. And are we worrying because we don't know where the money will come from? And listen, those are all pretty basic conditions that I think it seems like there's lots of people with the same conditioning. So how would you feel if the money showed up right on time and you never had to worry about money ever again? How would that feel to you? What do you believe your consciousness is? Do you believe and accept that it's God? Universe, our power source, energy, moonbeams? Do you? And if you do, can God be limited? Not really. Can anything get in the way of God? No. So see yourself as that version of yourself, the version of yourself that is what? Whatever the problem is, the circumstance, the financial bind, take your attention away from the bind. Even though I know, listen, real life, sometimes things are really stressful and difficult to get our focus off of. It's not that we can't know that it's there, but when you pull your focus away and bring it to your ideal, so the version of you that is not in a financial bind, a version of you that feels free, secure, well, that's the solution to the bind. Do you see what I mean? The version of you who's not in the bind. So bring the focus over to that. Because remember, that version of you already exists. It's within you right now, right? Your consciousness is God. From there, we are always selecting versions of ourselves. We show up and experience reality through a state of consciousness, through a version of ourselves. And we move through states very quickly, from moment to moment to moment to moment. When you are, let's say, telling the story that, oh, I'm in a financial bind, I got this bill I got to pay, or I got to pay for something, blah, 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 in a time crunch, that's what you're identifying as. You're identifying with that. So the solution would be the you that no longer has that financial bind, right? The financial need was satisfied. You know, and obviously we can go a step further and you become the version of yourself that doesn't have to worry about money, right? Money is easy to come by. But that's always the answer, your I am awareness, right? Your I am is first. Everything else is a conception. What we are, don't want to use the word limiting, but conditioning our consciousness with. I mean that in a good way. So we don't want to condition consciousness with the limit, having the financial bind. No, you want the focus over here into the free version of you who's got the money. Money's not an issue. See what I mean? I hope. Kim, your video, why your manifestation is a guarantee vid was made 8 months ago. Made it all click for me like I got it before, but that one took all the weight off and really made it click. Thank you. Oh, thank you, baby M. Thank you for saying that. I very much appreciate that. I'm glad it helped. I'm glad it gave you the zhuzh. Wish fulfilled state, thank you very much. Excited for career stuff. Perfect new focal point. Love you. Love you too. And yes, I'm very happy to hear that. And it is a perfect new focal point. Of course it is. It's wonderful. Angela Gasecki, thank you very much. Remember my manifestation that came in? SP was cheating on me the whole time. He even had a girlfriend I didn't know about. I tried to work through triggers, but they were all right. Why did this happen? What do I do? It's the worst. Okay, first of all, I'm sorry you had this experience, but let's go back to that. I tried to work through the triggers, but they were all right. I believe you that you tried to work through the triggers. I 100% believe you. All right. Just like I was saying a moment ago, we move through states of consciousness like boom, 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 lightning fast. Boom, 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 boom. At every given moment is the opportunity to be in a new state of consciousness. So at every given moment, and by moment, I'm referring to the moments that your awareness is onto a new thought. on to the next, on to the next, on to the next, right? The ever new present moment. In that ever present moment, you are in fulfillment. Another way of looking at that is you are in conviction. And that is of whatever state you are agreeing with in that moment. So let's break this down. So you were manifesting a specific person, the specific person came in, we were all celebrating the wonderful news. Oh, yay, SP's here, blah, 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 blah. Congratulations, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm sure either the thought came in first, like something triggered you, or something happened in reality that caught your attention, your awareness, and it brought on a fearful thought, right? It brought on fear, doubt. And we label it here in the manifestation community as a trigger. Manifestation community tells you to, work through your trigger, work through it, try to push yourself through it. When I think the advice should instead be, okay, what am I in conviction of? What do I really identify with? What do I really believe? Because at every given moment, you are in conviction, fulfillment of whatever you're agreeing with. So when those triggers are coming in, when those fears are, first of all, what I'm trying to tell you is you are not destined to spend the rest of your life in having terrible things happen to you in relationships. Number one, let's just take that off the table. It's not. Okay? There is infinite possibilities, therefore infinite versions of you, version of people. Another way of looking at that is infinite realities, as reality is always ever changing with you. Sounds cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Doesn't necessarily feel that way as you're experiencing reality, but this reality is of the projection. Another way of looking at it, the reflection. But it's honestly like a simulation. And your consciousness, your conscious awareness, right? However you're ending that sentence, I am, right? That's what you are aware of being, is deciding for you where you are. Now, I believe, and this is just from my experience of coaching people, that we can take on all the information in the world about how to manifest, but we still tend to lean to logic when we're interacting with the 3D world. Okay? Meaning, when we are saying yes to manifesting something, yes, I want to manifest this specific person, I want this loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. And if that doesn't seem to unfold in a way that is 1,000,000% comfortable to us from moment to moment to moment to moment, from experience to experience to experience, when yucky experiences come in, we assume that can't be a part of this unfolding. This means it didn't work. So, not trying to invalidate your hurt feelings from, this really shitty version of your specific person. Sorry about that. But this doesn't mean you don't end up in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with this person. Oh, and if you've already, said no to this person, okay, well then to whoever you date next. You're not destined for a broken heart or to be cheated on. We don't know why things unfold the way they do. What we do know and have the free will choice over is who we are aware of being from moment to moment to moment. So, working through the triggers. See, when I hear that, that gives me the yuckies. And I think it's because I feel incorrectly talked about in the community. Because we are always going to have random thoughts. Always. Doubts, fears, good thoughts, amazing thoughts. We don't have to be afraid of the thoughts. I don't want you afraid of thoughts. Like, oh my God, what if I get cheated on again? Now, I do want to go back to you saying this again. I tried to work through the triggers but they were all right. They were all dead set. I remember thinking just like you. I remember feeling that way and being very angry over it, truthfully. They were all right because I expected them to be right. I believed those triggers more. I was in conviction of the shitty stories. So that from a victim state, satisfaction of, but they were right. They came true. That doesn't mean that you were powerless to choose differently. That doesn't mean your free will choice has been taken from you. It doesn't. So whatever you're planning on going forward, if you're continuing to manifest this person, I hope, and anybody manifesting a specific person knows that just because we're manifesting a person doesn't mean that we have to tolerate bullshit behavior like being cheated on. We don't have to tolerate that and accept that. What is that really saying about us? What is that really saying about your identity in that moment? Now, I think you have sent me something else, so I'm just going to double check in case I'm wrong. And it might just be my screen. Just seeing, have you responded at all to what I've been saying? But I didn't want them to be right. I don't think that you did. I don't think that you did. But when you found them out, what were the first few thoughts that came in when you found out? And when you say you've been doing this for 4 years, has it been for the same person? What's up, Coco? How are you? I honestly believed he had changed the time. Okay, so this is someone that you've had stories with. So what do you really believe about love and relationships? When you found out, right, when he crushed your feelings, which they would have crushed mine, so that's not me judging you. When you found out the truth, number one, how did you find out? What did you feel like the moment you found out? Okay, I lost it. Which is, hey, you are human and you are allowed to have your moments. Yes, same person. Okay. So you lost it. Was there anything in the mind like, I knew he would do this again? And any self-blame, which I hope you were not doing. Okay, now his girlfriend has been texting me and validating all my intuitive triggers. In what way? I added a girl on Facebook. I assumed he was seeing. Oh my gosh. Okay. I added a girl on Facebook I assumed he was seeing. What made you do that? What made you take that action? This goes back to what I was saying. From moment to moment, we are selecting where we are, which self we are. It's telling you what you were in conviction of. She told me everything. And he was with his ex-wife, and she told me a lot too. Okay. So what does this... What? Lester, I am just going to slap you. I just love you. Okay. My biggest fear was that he would, but I prayed he wouldn't. I just thought it was old fears I needed to transcend. Well, you're not wrong on that part. You're not wrong on that part. But you can't fix yourself from the self that believes those things. We're not going to fix that state. So as far as the transcend, we transcend to a new state, right? This is why, for anybody else listening, this is why there is no, not to hurt your feelings, but there is no need to heal. You're not really healing anything. You're leaving a state of consciousness, right? You're not going to heal a version of yourself because each version is already pre-packaged and put together and perfect, even though they don't always feel so perfect, but they are. So as far as their fears I needed to transcend, no, you needed to transcend altogether to the self that is in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. But see, this is not something to beat yourself up over. This is just telling you what your identity was. The fears were louder. The fears were louder. This doesn't mean that that person can't change. I'm not trying to push you into keep manifesting your person. I'm not trying to push you in any direction. You need to decide what's best for you. But this doesn't mean you don't get an outcome. This means you had another uncomfortable bump in the road, but nothing happens by coincidence. Whether we are transcending more, you're learning something from this, but nothing happens by chance or by coincidence. And we aren't punished, right? We don't earn our worthiness to have the things we want, right? We're not here to earn it. But everything we experience is a part of that journey of you getting the thing you want. And sometimes there's uncomfortable experiences. That's the beauty of this, is to know that even when something's uncomfortable, it doesn't mean it's stopping you from getting your desire. It's really uncomfortable because we're probably applying logic to it and trying to understand something that might be a bit more than our understanding. This doesn't mean you don't get what you want. This doesn't mean you don't end up in the relationship you want either. And I know that can be very hard to believe while you're in the thick of it. It was hard for me to believe. But I don't want you to give up entirely on yourself here. That's okay, Angela. That's okay. Oh, now I feel bad for her. Now that's just the worst feeling. Salty, thank you very much. Kim, I'm deciding the things that going wrong right now are in my favor and what needed to happen to move me. I got some movement with a job and SP, but my thoughts race with anxiety. Okay, your thoughts race with anxiety. This could really apply to what we were just talking about with Angela. You can have the fears. You can have the anxiety. But ultimately know who you're choosing now. How something unfolds isn't under our control, right? How our manifestations, how our desires come to us in physical reality, we don't control that part, which is not necessarily a bad thing because we don't have to figure out how we get our manifestation. We just have to know ourself as being the self that has it. So you're feeling the anxiety. I know anxiety is not fun. It's your body responding out of habit, but it's not going to stop you from getting your outcome. And I know that you already know that. I know you do. And a lot of times, honestly, if we really, really take a step back and take a look at reality from a distance, how many of you have ever in your life had a really shitty experience that you look back on and you're grateful for because you understand how it moved you to the next place in your life? I know I've had countless, Now, that doesn't mean that they felt any better. They were still uncomfortable experiences. But I can look back now with that hindsight and see, okay, well, it makes sense. It makes sense why this happened or why that happened. And here's where it led me. And if you look back, they probably led you into something you wanted anyway. So, and it might not have looked like it was going anywhere in that direction, but it led you there. That's what's happening to us all the time. All the time. Everything we experience is moving you towards the things you want. Even if they look like there is no connection between experiences, but there's always a connection, always. And it is beyond our understanding as humans. But thank God we're not just humans. We're consciousness. We're the I am. We're more than the meat sack. Yes, I was just getting some anxiety attacks this morning is all, but I've been so much locked in with my focus. Good girl. Good girl, Salty. I'm proud of you. Damn well proud of you. And Salty, let me just tell you, I can definitely speak for you that I know that you've been doing your best to be aware of being the self you want to be. I know it, and I know you do your best to apply, right? You're not just a hearer, you're a doer. That's why I know comfortably you are going to experience the things you want. You are. And everything you might be experiencing right now is all a part of it. I think one of the most unhelpful things is when we have an uncomfortable experience, like, what poor Angela was going through here. Listen, like having someone cheat on you, fucking heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. But I don't think it's helpful to take a look at that. Okay, I just got cheated on. And then we start beating up on ourselves for it. I think that's not helpful and nothing I would suggest anybody do. I would say if we wanted something like that to stop happening, then we begin to observe ourselves, observing the observer, and observe where our mind really goes and start a new story for yourself. Because we're all meant, we all are, every single one of us are automatically, it's our birthright that we are worthy and deserving of whatever it is we want. No matter how outer limits your desire is, even if it feels like, oh my God, a million different things would have to happen before I could have this thing. No, you're thinking logically. You're thinking small, right? There's a greater mind, the all one consciousness, the absolute, that has the means to bring you exactly what you want. And it's already within you, right? You're already the I am. You're already in connection with. That makes it easier to think of. You want the things you want because you're meant to have them. What's your preferred way to observe the observer? I'm going to totally Kim this down. This is literally what I do. I will go if anybody's home, let me say it like that. Like my boyfriend's home, or if there's chaos going on here, I'll go up in my room. Sit on my bed, lie on my bed, close my eyes, because it helps me. I think it helps me get into my focus, get into observation mode. It helps me to detach from reality around me. And in the beginning, I would use Neville Goddard's suggestion, and I would quietly in here be saying, so not out loud, saying up in my mind, I am. Until I would get into that comfortable, I don't know how else to describe it, but that comfortable coziness before you technically fall asleep, till I was there. And then I would observe. Now, thoughts would just start popping in, but the more I did it, the less of the bombardment of thoughts happened. So really, you can do this anywhere. You don't really need to go off into your bedroom like I'm saying. I'm just saying that's what I do if there's people around here. My boyfriend's home or my son's over. Or, if I'm being somewhere where I can't do it, like I have to interact, okay, fine. But even then, there's a slight splitting off that I can do with my mind. I think all of us can do it. But you can be standing at your kitchen sink loading the dishwasher and still do it. Because you're not stuck in this meat sack that we think we're stuck in. We think this is the all of us, and we're not. And another way I would describe it is it's like I'm looking at my mind from a distance. That's what it feels like in my mind that I'm doing. It will show you that you are more than just this meat sack, that you are more than just this avatar. You're more than just this one conception of Kimberly or Lester or whatever everybody's names are. You're more than it. Much more. So really that's all I do. I bet that Lester, this was me literally after our Zoom call this morning. I just wanted you to share so people know how you do it and how easy it is. Thank you for saying that. You start from the I am, then select you that I am. Thank you. And I want to say too is I bet each and every one of you has already did this without realizing what it was you were doing. So think about any time that, let's say you're just, alone in your bedroom, and let's say you're, putting laundry away in your room and you're in your mind. You're just escaping in your mind. How many times have you laid down to go to bed and just haven't gone off to sleep yet, but your eyes are closed, you're relaxed, and you're just kind of drifting in thoughts, different thoughts. You're just drifting, but you're there. Your beingness is there, still very much alert and in connection, the essence of you. You've probably done this so many times and just didn't realize. This is why I made the TikTok the other day that, listen, I think some of you are so hard on yourselves that you think, all right, so like say you see people in videos making this kind of content and you look at them like, oh my God, they're so holier than thou. They just know, they're just so much more ascended. Or what other words do we throw around in this community? They're just so much better at this. They know so much more than me. They're so good. They've had all these magical downloads, right? Jesus is in direct connection with their mind. Yes, my child, I'm going to give you all the gifts of manifestation, but not this bitch over here. No, you got to work for it, right? We think that if we don't feel like we're on the verge of walking on water, that we're not good enough to be able to live the life we want or to figure out how to observe the observer. Oh my God, I probably got to study, meditation and do all these perfect meditations in order for me to have that connection in consciousness. I'm just a regular person. Why would that ever work for someone like me? But look at this person and their videos. They talk like they've had so many Jesus moments, these higher, absolutely elevated states of consciousness. They're probably so much better that no. And you might not ever have any, mega amazing, expansive moment. That doesn't make you less of a master manifester. That doesn't mean that you have no connection. That doesn't mean you are not one with consciousness. You all are, no matter what. That is just the avatar concept in that moment, meaning the version of you at the time you're thinking of it. That one out of the infinite versions of yourself. You're in your mind all the time. You're up here all the time, all day long. So have you ever just sat in your mind? Again, if I had to give you a visual of what it feels like in my mind, it's like me sitting on the couch, but sitting back, watching a screen of myself living in the 3D. That's what it feels like in my head. And I'm observing her and all the different thoughts. Poop is agreeing with me. And all the different thoughts that come in my mind, you're sitting back and observing. Like, wow, listen to that one. I can't believe that I, at one time, believed that thought. Look at how quickly I was so ready to believe this person, didn't want to be with me, or I'm never going to have this career. Look at those thoughts. I'm sure you've all done it. My God, I know she's going crazy, Brittany. That's her way of saying, yes, this is how to observe the observer. Miss Dana DiLorenzo, member for 14 months. Thank you very much. SP is conforming so well. I just saw him Saturday. I believe he will be okay, 100%. I know it. And we're with you on that. My love heals. My best friend has ghosted me. That sentence. My love heals. My best friend has ghosted me. I don't know why. I'm not apologizing because I did nothing wrong. Having trouble with how to change the story, though. I just love how you wrote that. My love heals. My best friend has ghosted me. All right. I'm not doubting you, and I'm not picking at you. I had to take out the period to fit. I love you. How do we know that our best friend has ghosted you? What is the 3D evidence that we're applying? Again, I'm not saying I don't believe you, by the way. Don't take it that way. I'm saying let's take a look at the evidence of why we believe that. If you could tell me, please. If you feel comfortable to tell me in the chat. Because I don't know how anybody could just ghost you, because I just think you're wonderful. So how do we know for sure? Is it we haven't gotten a text back, we haven't gotten a call back, and it's been several, a couple weeks? And did anything happen between the two of you? And what do you really believe about your best friend? Is your best friend really capable of this? Yes, Bunny. They were confirmation squeaks. I thought it was a crying baby. No, it's a... Okay, either my thing is taking forever to update, or Miss Dana, are you typing back to me at all? My boyfriend just came home and he's making faces at me over here. I'm glad you took your shoes off. Thank you very much.
Where's the hatchet?
Don't listen to him. You did? You did write me back? I didn't see it. All I saw was I had to take the period out of it. Oh. Tell me again. Everybody says hi to you.
Hi.
Hi. See, when he calls me on the way home from work, because he's got a long drive, and I told him when he called that I was mopping the floor, so you better not tracking anything on the floor when he comes home. And then he, of course, said something smart ass, like he was gonna, definitely wear his shoes and walk across the floor. And I said, you better not. I'll be waiting at the door with a hatchet. He's like, you don't even own a hatchet. I'm like, how do you know that? He's like, well, I've never seen the hatchet. I'm like, just because you've never seen it doesn't mean I don't have one. I don't really have one, but. Yes, Lester the hatchet. Do you hear him? You don't know how to use one. I could learn real quick. Miss Dana, you got to tell me again. You got to tell me, what is the evidence we're using? Because I didn't get it. It didn't show up on my screen. Did anybody else see Dana's response? Because I don't think you should apologize. Oh, wait a minute. I'm just catching on to something you're saying. I'm not apologizing because I did nothing wrong. Did something happen? Did something happen? Did you guys have a little mini tiff? My birthday weekend was so nice with her, and then when I texted after, she was cold and dismissive. Is this normal behavior for her? Can she just be a cold biatch? I'm going to tell you right now, okay? I don't think you have anything to, you definitely don't need to be apologizing for anything. I don't think you did anything wrong. She was being cold and dismissive. Did you say something? If she feels you did something wrong, okay, so that's the story we have, that is who she is. See? So you guys are best friends. She's not going anywhere. She'll be back. But see the story you have. See the belief you have about her. Because, listen, I'm just saying, let's go 3D world for a minute. She might not even be aware that she came off cold and dismissive. But because you have that story, you have that belief about her. Do you see how we're always doing it? We have stories and beliefs about everything in our life. Everything. I know, and I think she's stubborn as hell. No! Okay. But I keep saying I enrich her life and she will be back. She's already back. Your besties. She's not going anywhere. She's already back. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves being around you. Everybody loves your energy. Everybody wants your time. That is who you are aware of being. Stop saying she's freaking stubborn. You answered your own question. I just love you. I'll be honest. I'm a little mad at her. I love you. See? I'm sorry. She's corn cobbing her toy. Oh, yes, I did, Lester. I think you're fabulous. I think you're going to be a big deal. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll be waiting for the truckload of seafood.
Lester, did you hear what he just said to you? He remembered. He says, I'll be waiting for the truckload of seafood. From yesterday? I'm serious, though. I meant what I said. What did he say? He said, I'll be waiting for the truckload of seafood because he loves seafood. Remember when I said that, we better leave Lester alone or else he's going to send a truckload of seafood to my house? Do you remember that? Yeah. I just want to say, though, to Dana, she's already back. She hasn't left. She hasn't gone. But I would ask myself why I'm mad at her. You and I are a lot alike, Dana. That's all I'm going to say. Oh my God, can I order seafood to your house? Can I order it to your post office box? And no one wants that? No one wants that. I don't want it. I don't want seafood of any kind.
Not in the P.O. box.
No, not the P.O. box. Key Issa, thank you very much. We are all deliciousness. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are deliciousness. All credit to that word goes to Key Issa. She said that, and are you kidding me? Hold on. Out of your mind. Wait till I get off. Just wait. There's going to be a war up in here when I get off this live stream, is all I'm going to say.
You didn't hear it.
I don't care. I heard it, and I don't want that all over my social media. I hope y'all didn't hear him, because he was being like, I'm just going to get, what do pigs live in? I might as well just build one of them right in the backyard and have him move out there, because he was acting like a pig. I'll put you right on camera, too. You deserve it today. Your super chat went away. It doesn't go anywhere. I have it over here. You didn't hear it? Good. Thank God. VK, thank you very much. Was in contact with SP for months, and it felt so hard manifesting. Didn't work. Now he just disappeared. Trying to see it as something good to finally be in the state, fully not focusing on 3D. Okay, was in contact with SP for months, and it felt so hard manifesting. It didn't work. Now we just disappeared. Okay. Why do you think it felt so hard manifesting? Now I'm going to give you the answer. Because you were trying. You were trying to manifest from the character, from the avatar, from the concept of yourself, from that state, is what I'm trying to say. So listen, don't get all confused, because I'm sure a bunch of you just heard me say that and we're like, well, how else are you supposed to do it? It's you become aware of being. You take your attention away from the you that doesn't have the desire, doesn't believe he or she has the desire. And you bring your attention, your focus, your awareness to the you that does. That's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. Those are my words. You don't have to use those words. That's my way of describing a wonderful relationship. Do you see what I mean? It felt hard because you weren't changing self. You were trying to get things to change in the 3D, more than likely, in your person. And there's a big ass difference. Whenever conscious manifestation feels hard, when it feels overwhelming, when it feels like work. And listen, I hope you know, VK, that is not me judging you or picking on you. I'm telling you that because that's what I did too. That's how I know. That's how I know when I see others doing it. Because I did it too. And I did it for years. Years. So don't feel bad about that at all. And I think that's what everybody does in the beginning because you don't know any different. And if you were anything like me, in the beginning, when I first really started applying to the best of my ability, to the best of where my understanding was of conscious manifestation, I didn't give a rat's ass about the whole, oh my God, you're God. You're God. Your consciousness is God. Your consciousness is the universe. Blah, blah, blah. I didn't care because I didn't understand it. Like I understood the sentence, but I didn't understand the true meaning behind it. I heard it and I'm like, okay, great. Yeah, I'm God. So that means I can have whatever I want. Okay, good. How do I get it? How do I get it? I was never changing me. I was trying to change 3D from the me who didn't think she could have what she wanted or didn't think it would last, didn't think it would work. So until I finally got that understanding, actually, truthfully, it was when I first understood states of consciousness that the big change happened because I got that download. All right, finally understand that after how many years? And I'm not saying it takes years to understand. I'm saying it took me years. Doesn't have to take any of you that long. So, and I think I saw you respond to me. So let me. Yes, Kim, you are right. And was seeing him at work and only as a friend. See? Okay. All right. Good. We're already there. So, who is the you that has the relationship? What is that version of you like? Sorry about her barking. What is that version of you like? What would it feel like to be that version of you? To be the you who's experiencing a relationship you're happy in, a relationship that your boyfriend doesn't burp in the background of your live streams when he knows that you don't like it. Just saying. Definitely no. So the idea is to, yes, that's what he did, Brittany. I plan. Sarah, oh my God, I feel like it's been forever. I hope you are doing wonderful. I've missed you. Now, you know that I know this is not the correct way to say your last name, but do you remember I always called you Sarah Moreau? Sarah Moreau. I miss you. I agree with you, Babs. We should get Kim to host a Zoom and let us role play telling each other how we've already living and experiencing our desires. We will do that. We will do that. We'll do it. That is awesome. Oh my God, Sarah, you were just lovely. Okay, I'll look for it. But VK, just to end with VK, think about the you really want to be, the you that has the relationship, and what it feels like to be that version of you, what it feels like. What do you think you would think about as that version of you? What do you think your life would look like as that version of you? And knowing that every time that you're in imagination thinking that, you're not just in your imagination, you're doing it from the I am. And that's what you are at every given moment. I am. So I am who? I am what? Finish that sentence with the self you want to be and watch your world start to change. I'm just saying. John M., this super chat is just an example of why I love you. How can I make my noisy neighbors fuck off? Well, the true way to get them to fuck off is to get your focus, attention, and awareness off of them. Right? Turn away from your problems and focus on the you who has a peaceful, loving environment where you live. You could say hi to everybody. You saying hi? Oh. There's poop for y'all. Sarah. Beautiful Sarah. My boyfriend, SP, 2 versions, he brings flowers, flowers, kisses me, talks about marriage, travel. Sometimes he flips into cold, distant cheating, which triggers me. I know it's the bridge, but it's hard love you. Okay, let's talk about that. So you're aware that there are 2 versions. There's infinite versions of all of us, right? When he gets into cold and distant, especially that cheating bullshit, when that's happening, or when you think that's happening, where does your mind go? Where does your mind go? And I hope you know that just because you're manifesting a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with him, that doesn't mean we have to tolerate shit behavior like that. You're not a doormat. Okay? You're not a doormat. We don't have to accept bad behavior from the person we're in a relationship with, especially if it feels disrespectful. I'm just saying, we can still manifest a better version of that person, but that doesn't mean we have to zip our lips in the 3D and keep tolerating things that don't make us happy. That's all I'm saying. He's not fully conformed. I call the bad one Carlos. Wait, I call the bad one Carlos and the bad one Alejandro. I'm assuming you meant the good one. Alejandro, because that's sexy. I don't know, Alejandro. Why I just added the accent, I'm not sure. Okay, the good one, Alejandro, all right. So I broke up with him, been setting boundaries, but he keeps trying to get me back to my old Sarah version, and that's never going to happen, is it? That's never going to happen. All right. You are the version of yourself that he accepts and loves. He loves you for exactly the way you are, the way you want to be. That's who you are. And I think it's helpful that you see him as 2 different people, per se, because Carlos can go straight to hell. I love that you dumped his ass and set boundaries. That is already evidence of your shift. That is evidence that you are already, showing up as that new version of yourself. Because that is what happens. No, I don't mean that's what happens, meaning everybody's got to dump their SP. I don't mean that. I'm saying that when you've truly stepped into the new version of yourself, therefore my I am awareness, you are aware of being whatever you want to call that version of yourself. When you truly are, you start showing up and interacting with reality from that version of yourself. And it happens naturally, all on its own. And all you needed to do to get there was know yourself as that self. There's a lot of selves, but you get what I'm saying. Is you know yourself as that version of yourself. I am the version of self, or I am, and describe that version of you the way you would like. That's who you are aware of being. That's the identity. So well done on setting those boundaries and not accepting less than exactly what you deserve and are worthy of. Like in the 3D, he yells at me and said, stop doing this. I've been using ChatGPT to manifest. He's been on to me. I feel like he doesn't want me to be a woman with higher standards. Well, of course he doesn't. Carlos doesn't. Carlos wants to be a lazy bastard who can just treat you any way he wants. But not Alejandro. Alejandro loves you and accepts you for exactly who you are. So, too bad for Carlos, isn't it? My abandonment wound keeps getting triggered. Okay. You mean that version of you, that abandonment wound is coming in. That doesn't mean the version of you who's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship doesn't come up for her. And you're all versions of it. This is another reason why we say you're already whole, complete, perfect. You already are. Because all of you, all versions of you are already within you right now in this moment. In your consciousness, you're already perfection, flawless, limitless. You just need to light up, right? Bringing your awareness light to the you who comfortably knows that she can have her high standards and he will love her for that and won't try to talk you out of being that version of you. Good for you for putting Carlos to the curb, okay? Good. Well done. But how to deal with the flip-flopping like in the 3D? Like, I don't know what version of him I'm getting. Is this the bridge? He's like, stop manifesting me. And then after that, he's like trying to take... Everything you experience is a part of the bridge. Everything. Including the stuff we don't like. Yes, it's a part of the bridge. Every moment is a part of the bridge. Literally. And I know that there are some experiences that we think have nothing to do with our manifestation, so they're not a part of the bridge. Everything is a part of the bridge. Everything. Because everything, every moment you experience is shaping you, expanding your awareness. So how to deal with him, how to put up with it when you feel like I don't know which one I'm going to get, you decide which one you're going to get. And when or if the one you don't want is up in the picture, that's the one that appears in reality, how you react to it is telling you who you are. And the only thing that ever matters is who you are aware of being from moment to moment to moment to moment. Not what he's doing, not how he's showing up, you. Who are you? Now, what that doesn't mean, don't interpret that logically and think, okay, I'm the version of myself in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. So if Carlos shows up, I'm just got to deal with it because I'm manifesting the better version of him. No. The version of you that set the boundaries and dumped his ass was the version of you who will not accept less, who won't accept poor treatment. That was a good girl, a win moment. So when you hear me say, well, how you react to it is telling you who you are. If you're getting yourself all worked up when Carlos shows up, ask yourself why. What are you worked up about? Because we can decide not to put up with someone's shit and also not fall apart and be upset or afraid too. We can be both. The version of ourselves that has standards, high standards, whatever word, I forgot the phrase you used, and can expect that the person in love with you wants the same kind of love that you want. And they want to be with you. They want to see you happy. It's a mutual love. But that's the thing, that walking around feeling like, oh, I don't know which version I'm going to get today. No. You get the version you want. You decide that by you showing up as the version of you who you want to be. Does that make sense? Trying to take control back. He keeps acting like I'm begging. I hope you are not begging. You are not begging. I hope you are not doing anything begging. We don't beg. That's not going to bring in the version you want, right? If anybody out there is in a place where we are desperately begging someone to be with you, understand what that means. Understand there's a difference between expressing your feelings, letting someone know that you love them. That's one thing. But, oh my God, please don't leave me. Please, please, please don't leave me. That's automatically a version of yourself who does not believe she is worthy or he is worthy and deserving of a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. Because otherwise you would not beg that way. You wouldn't. If you confidently knew your worth, you would not beg. That's different than I'm expressing my feelings. I'm in love with you. There's nothing wrong with that, though. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. And there is, getting the control back. What control? What control? Now, I know in the 3D world, There's that push and pull in relationships where one person seems to control the relationship. That's not a relationship we're manifesting. No one needs to be in control in a relationship. It's mutual love where you're both equal entities, right? No one's each other's boss. So when it feels like you think he's taking, you feel that energy of he's taking control, hell no. Who are you? That's a moment to remember yourself as source. I've been being neutral if he's Carlos and kind when he's Alejandro. Okay. It's like training a dog. You are hilarious. You are hilarious. When you're being neutral when he's Carlos, I hope you don't feel like you have to monitor your behavior. Right? We don't have to monitor our behavior. I'm saying eggshells. We don't have to walk on eggshells because Bastard is here today. No. No. If he's showing up as a version of himself, like Carlos, then maybe I wouldn't interact so much that day. I'm not saying you can't talk to him. I don't mean that. But if you're not liking his behavior, I wouldn't continue conversation. I'm not going to interact with Carlos. When you show up as Alejandro, we'll talk. So that's not me saying you can't talk to your person. I don't mean it that way. I don't at all. He's acting like that because he's insecure. Don't monitor. I mean, listen, monitor your behavior. I'm saying, obviously, we don't want anything negative. I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying you don't have to walk on eggshells. That's not being the version of yourself in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship either. If we're feeling like we're on eggshells, well, we have to, watch our mouth, be afraid of expressing what we're really thinking and feeling with the person we want a relationship with, then we got to really check in with ourselves. Who are we? Who do we really believe we are in that moment? But he's a mixed cocktail of both Alejandro and Carlos. I think you putting the focus on you, on who you are, is really the only thing you need to worry about. Your consciousness is God. Universe, higher power, source energy, moonbeams, whatever you want to call it. It's God. From there, right, you're selecting. You're finishing the sentence, I am. You're finishing it. From moment to moment, you're attaching the rest of the sentence. I am what? I am the version of self who's dealing with Carlos today. I'm the version of myself who is stuck dealing with either Carlos or Alejandro, or I am the version of myself who's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with Alejandro only. That's who I am. So if Carlos is here today, I don't have to be a mean biatch, but I also don't give my energy to someone who's not showing up the way I prefer. I remove the energy. I'm not going to put in time for Carlos. Carlos is here. I'm not talking. Bye, Carlos. Bye. So that we don't have to walk on eggshells. See what I'm trying to say? I don't think that you should put up with that cheating. I would probably pull myself back. I'm sure it is painful. What do you believe about relationships? I think we should look at that. Because I think the comment with the whole power, who's got power and who doesn't, that's an indicator that we need to look at what you believe about love. What do you believe about relationships? What are relationships supposed to look like? How would you define what a normal, healthy, loving relationship looks like? Because your beliefs around that matters. Because what you're identifying with is what we experience in reality. So take a look at what you really believe about love and relationships. And what kind of relationship are you manifesting? What do you want to be experiencing? Cheating is heartbreaking. I know it is. Heartbreaking. But when cheating happens, there's a really good indicator that the identity that we're embodying, right, or our concept of self, that not good enough belief is in there somewhere, if not others, I'm saying. So bringing the focus to the version of yourself that doesn't have that belief, that feels and knows her true worth is already being perfect, whole, and complete because she is source, because she is I am. Everything else is a concept of herself, of the different versions of Sarah. So where our awareness goes is what gets experienced in reality. So to have the control over what we experience is to let go of 3D and put the focus on what you are saying to yourself after I am. I am who? I am what? Who do you believe you are? You finish that sentence with what you want to experience in reality, who you are aware of being. I think I would love to anytime you want, Sarah. We can. Anytime. It'd be lovely to catch up with you anyway. But you've got this, my beautiful friend. You do. You can do this. I know you can. You're clearly changing something because Alejandro comes in sometimes, right? You can do this. I believe you, Sarah. I'm not surprised. You're a damn good manifester. Damn good. And I meant what I said. You are beautiful. Like literally beautiful. John M., thank you very much. Do you think some of us are afraid of realizing our true power because it's actually really scary to be so unstoppable and have everything you want? Yes, I do. I do. And if you were to go back through my content, maybe 2 years ago, I'm not sure of exactly. Well, no, I know I recorded it. I was out in my car. So I don't think I lived here yet. So it would be, oh my God, has it been that long since I've been on this manifestation channel? Maybe it was 3 or 4 years ago. I made a video about why it might not be here yet. I don't remember exactly what I titled it, of course. But one of the things that I said as one of the reasons why it might not be here is you might not really want your manifestation to show up yet. And I know I'm not trying to make everybody panic. Don't start panicking out there. If you think, oh my God, that's me, don't start panicking. But, well, I should say, and what you're saying here, because of the idea that you are the I am, that you are source, that you are more than just this meat sack, and knowing that your mind is deciding your experience. We don't control how things unfold, which I know if you've been around me, you've heard me say that a million times, but we don't control how it unfolds, but we are choosing our outcomes based on what we're aware of, right? Or who we're aware of being. So yes, I do think there are those out there who are afraid of that. And I get it, but it's not because you yourself are inherently afraid, and it's not something you can't get over. It's just, well, there's infinite versions of us to choose from, right? At every given moment, we're moving through states of consciousness. So of course, There's going to be at least one version of you who is afraid to know that you are more than just the character or the avatar you. Yeah, of course. And I think that there are some, just to expand on your question, I think there are some people out there who are, without meaning to, identifying as the version of themselves that don't really want that manifestation to show up just yet. And I'll give you a basic bitch example. So it's because it was one of my examples. I have seen, I've coached a lot of people, I've been coaching a long time. So lots of different people who, without meaning to, are manifesting. I'm going to use an example from the specific person side of the world here. Manifesting a specific person, manifesting a relationship with their specific person, and at the same time manifesting a physical appearance change. Doing both of those at the same time, not a problem, not an issue. Unless you are identifying as not good enough because of your appearance, unless you are aware of feeling ashamed of your appearance and not wanting your specific person to see you fully just yet. Not wanting to be, alone, if you get what I'm saying, with your specific person because you're ashamed of your body. And some of us out there are talking negatively to themselves, right? When you look in the mirror and you're saying terrible things about yourself to yourself, okay? That's a part of your identity. And at the same time, you are uncomfortable in your own skin, and you don't want your specific person to come in till you lose the 10 pounds or lose the 20 pounds or however many pounds. You don't want them to see you yet. You got to lose 10 more pounds. You are contradicting yourself, right? So yeah, I think there are those out there doing that, for sure. Both of them. Both well, questions, both ideas. Yeah, for sure. I see it quite often, unfortunately. I hope to change their mind. If they've coached with me, I hope to, But yeah, that definitely, I've seen that. Yep, that's me sometimes. See? Listen, don't even feel bad about it. It was me too. So that's another thing of why you want to observe the observer, so that you're being aware of what is really going on in your mind from moment to moment. Again, this is not to make you afraid of thoughts. Listen, thoughts can be there. They're going to be. They come in on their own. It's okay that a random shit thought pops into your mind. I'm referring to the continuous, the regular, the often thoughts. Like, I hate how I look. I hate how I look. And then, all the nasty things that come with it. Hate this. I don't want them to see me like this. But at the same time, pining over the specific person, but not realizing that you're sending them away. You're saying, not yet. Not yet. And I've seen, just to add to John, I've also seen, people multi-manifesting. So having manifestations in multiple areas and trying to set the tone of which one can show up first, the order in which they manifest. I've seen that too. So without meaning to, what are you doing? You're holding it away. So yeah, I've seen that too. Kiisa, thank you very much. We are all consciousness. Yes, we are. Every single one of us, including specific people. All of us. Elizabeth, all I can see is D-U-G-G-I, and then it's got dots. So Elizabeth Dougie, but I'm sure it says something more. Thank you very much. I accidentally broke boundaries with my best friend, and now there's little contact. She says she's not blocking me, and she's not mad, but she's deciding how to proceed at the moment. I'm afraid she might end the friendship. All right, well, let's stop this right on here. You accidentally broke the boundaries with your best friend. And now she's deciding how to proceed. So she's, all right, I don't know what you did to break boundaries, but you could revise this if you really, really wanted to. I would revise it. You don't have to. You don't have to, but it's an option, especially if it's really weighing on your shoulders. Revise. Change that moment. Understanding you're not really changing that timeline per se. You're leaving that timeline and going to the timeline where whatever you chose to revise is now the truth. See what I mean? I know it sounds a little cuckoo. So if you don't feel like revising, this is what you should do. First of all, I would take a look at what do you really believe about your friend? What's her personality? What do you think she... Now, I don't mean based on what you've seen in your 3D. I mean in your mind, how would you describe your bestie? So if it's stubborn, or stubborn, something I see often. If we think she's stubborn, we're going to decide, no, she's not. She loves you. She wants your bestie friendship to continue. Try not to think of the things she already said to you, like she's thinking about how to proceed at the moment. I know that is probably scary because she's your friend. But try not to focus there because, okay, that's what showed up in the dead world. So that's done. That's done. What do you believe about you and your friendships? Are you worthy and deserving of having a lovely, loyal, best friendship? I'm assuming you're going to say yes. And do you believe that you are someone that somebody else would want to have a bestie friendship with? Because sometimes we can be telling stories and identifying with those stories, like, I don't bring anything to the table. It's hard for me to make friends. Nobody likes me. I don't have an amazing personality. I don't have this. I don't have that. So they could find better friends than me. It's easier for that friend to make more friends, so they don't need me as a friend. See what I'm saying? You have that running dialogue in the background. Not anymore. You're the best friend. She doesn't want to lose you. She wants to stay connected too. You start identifying as you want to be, as what you want to experience. You start identifying as that and understanding why you can decide she ain't going anywhere. Why? Because of what or who you really are as pure, unadulterated consciousness. See, right now, whatever happened, it happened to one version of you, right? One state of consciousness, one concept of yourself. Well, there are infinite. So there's a version of you who has the best friendship with her. Hold on, I'm seeing your comments. Consistency texting when she needs a break because I'm anxious of being abandoned. What is that? That's a limited belief, isn't it? It's a limited belief. Doesn't have to be the truth for you anymore. I'm afraid of being abandoned also, but I know I'm loyal because it's happened before. And I believe you that it's happened before from others. I believe you. It happened to a version of you. It happened to a version of you. One out of the infinite versions of you. But there's a version of you that exists, and you have the power within you because of who your true self is as God. Universe, higher power, source energy, moonbeams, consciousness. Because of who you are that first. You are I am first. Then you are a concept of yourself, of Elizabeth, right? I am God, universe, higher power, source energy, moonbeams, consciousness, first. Then come the limits. Then come the concepts of Kimberly. So A version of you experienced abandonment, right? You've had friendships not last the way you wanted them to. A version of you did. But there's a version of you who has nothing but loyal, amazing friendships. Friends that are loyal to you to the end. They would never break off friendship with you. And this is a version of you who doesn't have any type of attachment style. There's no anxiousness over being abandoned. You are confident as that version of yourself. That it's okay if a friend takes a break from texting. It doesn't mean they don't want to be friends with you anymore. Doesn't mean they've gone anywhere. That version of you exists. This version of you is still besties with that best friend. Because that best friend sees this version of you as the best friend ever and wouldn't let anything get in between the two of you. And the only way to bring that here into your 3D world is for you to become aware of being that version of you. Your logical, literal, analytical side is want to pick that apart until you don't even consider that to be the truth. It's just doing its job. And it's going to remind you of past experiences. It's going to bring up the past. It's going to throw thoughts about your bestie right now, all the things she said to cut off the friendship or to take a break from the friendship. Those reminder thoughts are going to come in, and that's okay. And when they do, you remember who you are as I am first, and then which self you're choosing to be. Now, keeping in mind that this version of you over here, she doesn't have any thoughts about her best friend that are limiting. This version of you is so comfortably confident, so safe and secure that you can trust your besties. You can trust your friendships because you bring in worthy versions of those people. That's who this version of you is. Put the focus over here. You'll see. It'll work. I know she told me she knows I'm working on myself because I told her, see, she's not going anywhere. She might be quiet, and let me just give you a piece of advice. You don't have to follow it. She might be quiet. She might be spending some time thinking, give her that time. Give her that time because it's not really about her at this moment. Now, we have to interact with people in our 3D world, right? They are still beings in the 3D. So, you know, I wouldn't be chasing her. I would not be blowing up her phone because the version of you that is confident and happy and can trust her, she doesn't have that anxiousness. She doesn't have that worry of feeling abandoned. So she doesn't reach outside of herself for validation because the validation doesn't ever come from the 3D. It comes from within. It comes from us, from our I amness, comes from our true self as source. Then it appears in the 3D. So I would give her space. You're not really giving her space. You're giving yourself the space to focus on being the self you want to be. And I'm telling you, you two will be fine. I say that. I know that's pretty darn, what's the word? Ballsy. Well, if you do this, I'm telling you it'll work. It will. She'll be back. She's not going anywhere. I say that to you like so flippantly, like it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Just because I've seen this. I've seen this over and over again. If it's not love relationships, it's other kinds of relationships. There's people all over the world manifesting all sorts of different things. I've seen the wildest of circumstances that an old version of me would have initially thought, oh my God, how are they ever going to get that person back? Now, after all the experiences I have had coaching people and all the different circumstances out in the world. There's nothing that can limit God. Nothing. And I don't mean the religious-y God that the 3D world talks about. I'm talking about the real God, the absolute, the one consciousness, all powerful that is within you and me and everybody else on this planet. I'm talking about that God. Nothing or no one can prevent God from doing anything. And the power, the way to pray to get what you want is what? Ask, believe, receive, bitch. Ask, believe, receive. Well, how do we ask? We know ourselves to be the self we want to be. That's how. You're going to see it. What? That's how Kim feels about my SB. What are you talking about? What do you mean? What do I feel about your SB? You are fucking funny. Thank you, Duck Girl 2205. This live is gold. I appreciate that. Thank you, Christina Mendoza. How do you manifest someone out of your life? The same way you manifest anything out of your life. You remove your attention from them. Now, this might be someone that you have to see literally every single day. So how are you going to remove that? Man, I was so good at that at my old job. Getting rid of managers that I didn't like anymore. I know how that sounds. I didn't wish bad things on anybody. But when I wanted somebody different to manage my department because I didn't like who the manager was, I would remove my awareness from them. So what does that mean? I know how that sounds. And we can interpret that a little too literal, like remove your awareness. That sounds like don't think a thought about that person or that thing ever. That's not what it means. How you respond to things internally. You can equate that to removing your awareness or not removing your awareness. Meaning you stop seeing that person, the person you want out of your life, you stop seeing them as having power, authority, or in any way a way to bother you, be intrusive into your life. Whatever it is, you start to see them as no longer holding any power over you because they don't. They don't. And you see yourself as who you really are first, right? What I am. And then you see yourself as who you want to be. So the version of you, again, I'm just making up an example here. So the version of you who doesn't have this person in their life, we would say is the version of you who is happy and fulfilled and loves her life or his life. Would you be fulfilled if this person was still there bothering you? No. So I'm trying to say is you think of a version of you that you would love to be experiencing. And you know that this version of you means that that person's no longer in the picture, no longer bothering you. So you become aware of being that. See what I mean? I hope. Oh my God, Kim, I didn't even tell you guys about my new job. I got a raise after a few weeks and then they bumped it up again. I get over $1,000 in bonuses every paycheck after that too. Are you kidding me? This is wonderful. How did you forget to share that success? You got to share it tomorrow night. You need to talk in exclusive lives anyway. There you go, Calissa. I only see them as a bully now, and I have the assumption bullies just leave. And that's a good assumption to have. That's right. They are powerless. Oh my gosh, what a day I had. My last nerve stepped on because a car alarm was going off constantly for 2 hours. Oh my gosh. I just got annoyed for you. I just felt that annoyance. That would annoy me. I need to start doing that with somebody I don't want in my reality. And you can. And you can. Oh my God. Oh my God. I almost closed out the live stream. LOL, it's not what I want, so I never really think about it. But it's still, okay, I see what you're saying. Maybe it's not your ultimate goal career. But were you ever manifesting money? Was that ever a thing? Because this would count. It's still you advancing. I'm looking at it as a success. I'm just saying. I always have manifestations. I just love listening to everyone more. I know, but I think everyone would love to hear you too. You know what I mean? Finally, I just sat down and went within and said, I live in a quiet and peaceful neighborhood, and it stopped. Of course it did, Lisa, because you're a master manifester. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you're back, Rhonda. Oh my God, thank you. This has been bothering me for months, and I've only just realized it. LOL, thank you for confirming I'm doing it right. But you are. You are. And can I just say, it was kind of similar to what I did to get rid of the managers I didn't like. Yes, I was so worried about leaving my old job that I wasn't going to make enough, and now I'm making more, doing a lot less. It's a success. You should share it tomorrow. Had a gut feeling to post a specific story on my TikToks, and then later that night, SP watched it alongside with the other ones after not watching me, or for a while. The little things matter. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Well done, Zio Merrill. My body reacted and my mind told me, I told you so. Yeah. Could you do a video on that? Yes, I can. I will make time, Lester. I will make time. There's going to be time. No. AAM 9698. Of course not. Never. I don't manifest away my HBICs. What are you, nuts? Never. You guys are my friends. You're my social, what's that word? Social life. You're mine. Purnima. Well, thank you for the super chat, but I do not see a message. I'm just scrolling back to see if I see something, which I don't normally do. So feel special. Feel special that I'm doing it for you. I don't see anything. Well, I don't see it. But just in case Kim does, stay on her good side. You're a smart thinker. I like you. That's right. Man, well, thank you very much for the super chat. Miss Dana De Lorenzo again. Just want to say I love you and I love this group. I love you and I love my group too. All three of them. Love it. Well, I'm talking about the channel memberships. But I love our HBIC community as well. Yeah, I scroll back and I can't see nothing. And we all know I don't like to scroll back. Okay? And I did. I did it. I didn't see anything. I can't scroll up, but Piranha Is that her name? No, it's Purnima, not Piranha, like piranha. Did ask a question. I'm trying to remember what it was. A girl talking about not seeing success in her life. Oh, she said she hasn't seen changes and felt lost. Well, we don't want that. What did I say? You said piranha. And it's usually me messing up names, just saying. Said she hasn't. All right, let's talk about that then briefly in case she comes back and hears this. So when you feel like you're not seeing changes in your life, in reality, feel like you're not having success, maybe you've been at this for a while, then my question is, what do you think you should be seeing in reality to make you feel better that this is working? Now, I'm just going to assume you're going to give me an answer like, well, okay, I'm manifesting money. I should see, let's just say I'm manifesting a large lump sum of money. So I think I should be seeing that. Or at least I should be seeing something that indicates that I'm about to hit a windfall of money. Or maybe you're manifesting a specific person. And maybe in reality, right, you have the idea of, well, if I really thought things were working, and if I was experiencing evidence of that, then I would at least be in contact with my specific person. I would see something like that if it was working. So again, thank you, Salty. I just love you. Salty is another one that could be my child. I'm just saying, I'm sorry, I need it. I can feel my lips, they're bugging me. So going back to what she was saying. No, she wasn't saying. We think this is what she was going to say. So you would ask yourself that general question. If you have the feeling that nothing is changing, what is it that you think should be happening for you to feel comfortable that you are seeing changes? And as soon as you have that answer, let me crush it for you. Literally, let me crush that for you, okay? And I mean that with all the love in the world. I'm not trying to crush your dreams. I'm trying to tell you that that's the problem. That's the issue here, is you have an idea, a preconceived notion of what we should be seeing to feel like this is working. And that's not what we were ever asked to do. We were told to, whatever it is you want to manifest, decide what you want to experience, and then become aware of being that. Or in other words, become aware of being the version of you that has it. Another way of getting around that has it is knowing it's already yours. It's already yours. And everything else will be taken care of. So there's nothing left for you to worry about. Knowing it's done. And that goes for anything, no matter what you're manifesting. Now I know if any of you are like my original starting her manifestation journey at 38 years old, and then she blew it off until she was 42 version of me, that if I had asked that question and got the answer that I just gave you, I would immediately think, oh my God, what a fucking cop-out. What a cop-out answer. Yeah, okay. Just spin in the words, the web of words, because this shit doesn't work. That's where my mind would go. I'm going to crush that for you as well. We can only see so far in front of us with our very limited eyeballs. We do not see the entire planet Earth with our eyes from moment to moment, do we? No, we don't. We only see what is so, far in front of us. So how in the Sam hell can we know what the hell is happening outside in this reality that technically really isn't outside of us, it's projecting from us. But, well, I guess that would be, well, but not in the real sense outside. We don't. We sincerely, each and every one of us, literally has zero idea of how something is going to come to us, how the manifestation is going to come to us. Zero. We might have a sense of preconceived ideas, but we don't actually know. And just keeping it real, most of the success stories that I have heard came in a way that person never expected. I can tell you for myself, I personally, in this moment talking to you, and I word it that way because Lord knows I forget things. In this moment that I'm talking to you, I can't think of a manifestation that came in the way I thought it was going to come. I can't think of one. Not one. Okay? So if we know, we've been told by all the original mystics, all the original greats, I don't mean the YouTube, TikTok greats. I mean the originals. They all said in their own wording, don't fucking worry about the 3D. Don't try to figure out how it's going to come because you're not going to figure it out. You're not. They all told us that. Well, why do you think that is? Because they knew at some point we were going to concern ourselves with it, that we were going to worry about it, that we were going to judge the 3D. We were going to judge it. And we were going to assume that it's not fucking working. They knew it. Why? Because they've already went through the experiences. We do it without meaning to, and we do it because of our conditioning, right? We're always comparing and analyzing things from our past experiences. Just think about some of the questions we had in just today's live stream, let alone any other live stream. I have an abandonment wound. I'm afraid, I'm going to be dumped again because I have this abandonment wound. I had this, horrible traumatic experience, which all are valid, right? I believe you have had the wound. I believe you. I believe you had those experiences. I believe one version of you did. But we're all conditioned to constantly look backwards and compare so that we can feel safe and comfortable in the present moment and safe and comfortable thinking about our next future moment. We don't know how the manifestation is going to appear. We don't. I cannot stress it. We don't know. You don't know. I don't know. So then how can we look out in the 3D and decide, I don't think anything's happening. I've been doing this a while. I don't feel like I'm having anything successful happen for me. I don't see anything changing that tells me that I'm going to have that desire. Well, again, we'll go back to the specific person. I'm manifesting this specific person. I've been doing this for such and such time. I don't see anything in my 3D reality that says I have it. And I feel like I've been manifesting my specific person a hell of a lot longer than Georgia and Gwendolyn have. Georgia and Gwendolyn have been manifesting a lot less time than me, and they're already having movement. So really feel like it's not working. And my answer is going to be the same. How the fuck do you know it's not working? How do you know? What are you looking at to judge that? I know what you're looking at. You're looking at 3D and you're making a judgment. And what are you comparing it to? You can't tell me what you're comparing it to. The only answer you're going to be able to say truthfully is, this is the idea I have in my head that I think my manifestation is going to come this one way. That's what I'm comparing my 3D to. And again, we've been told countless times, you don't know how it's going to come. You don't know, and you ain't going to figure it out either. I'd be willing to bet money on that. You're not going to figure out how it's going to come. You're not. Because his ways are not our ways. And by his, I don't necessarily mean a gender. I mean the absolute The absolute has ways that we do not know of, that don't make sense to us. I bet any person really believing they're not experiencing anything different is absolutely experiencing something different. They're just not connecting it to their whatever manifestation. They see it as unrelated or unimportant. Manifesting a specific person, and maybe they've had a job change and they see that as having zero connection to their love manifestation. No, that just means you don't have the bigger vision to see the bigger orchestration that this new job of yours is leading you to meet a new coworker who happens to be the long distance cousin of your specific person, and you're going to get invited to the fucking tea party, and your specific person is there, and you two connect and get married and live happily ever after and have 1,000 babies. But you don't have that future vision. Kinda. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Do you understand that? I'm not saying it to be sarcastic. Well, everything I say is sarcastic, but I'm not meaning it in a sarcastic, blowing smoke up your ass. I'm saying, I'm telling you, you're not going to figure out how it's going to come to you. So why torture yourself and keep saying that you don't see any changes when the changes are probably slapping you in the face daily, but you think they have no connection to your manifestation? And the beauty of this, to put the cherry on top, is who you believe you are determines the filter you see reality through. So if you're walking around with the filter of nothing's changing, I don't feel like anything's happening, I've been doing this for 70 years and I still don't have my person, it's not working, Gwendolyn in Georgia, they got theirs after 2 fucking weeks. That's the filter. That's the identity you're wearing. So that's the filter you're seeing, because everything is already here. Everything. Creation is finished. Everything is here. Even science backs that up. But do you have that reticular activating system I refer to as your filter that is being determined by your state of consciousness? Well, you're seeing through that filter, and guess what it's doing? Guess what your reticular activating system is doing? It's hiding all the shit that seems irrelevant to who you are or what you believe. And it's letting you see the things that seem relevant. Now I'm saying the filter. If you're think of it like wearing a mask. If you got the mask on that says nothing's working, nothing's changing, that's what you get to see in your reality. Because that's how you perceive reality. That's what you believe. Nothing's happened. Nothing's changing. Okay, put that mask on today. We got the glasses on. You're not going to see shit because you say so. Because the answer is always yes. Yes to every single thing you want. Yes, yes, yes. But you're the boss of what filter you're wearing, or what mask you're wearing, or what glasses. You're determining it. You're the boss of that. No one can make you put a mask on. No one. I mean, it felt like for a little while we were forced to wear masks, but I'm not talking about those kind of masks. Saying, better stick with sunglasses. That one's an easier one. You're deciding which ones to put on today. And you are the one with the free will to decide which pair you put on today. Which version of self you're showing up as. You are the boss of that. No one can get in the way of that for you. No one. But I would do my best to stop declaring, claiming for yourself that you don't see anything out here. Because that's your free will to decide that for yourself. And I wouldn't. If you're really determined to believe that nothing's happening, then at minimum, I challenge you to surrender that. Surrender it. I don't understand why I don't think I see anything. I don't understand it. But I'm choosing to be the version of myself who sees their reality as always showing me that I am this version of myself. You choose the version. That's who I am. and you start identifying as the version of you who sees clearly that everything is changing to your benefit, to your desire. And you mark my words, you will have an experience. I don't know when, but not too soon after declaring that, you will see something that refers to your manifestation in reality. Mark my words. Come back to this live stream and let us know in the comments, because you will. Because the answer is always yes. The answer is never no, right? We don't have Jesus sitting on the top of a mountain like Gandalf with his "you shall not pass," saying no to you, that you can't have what you want, or what you want is too big for you, or, oh my God, girl, you're going to have to go through a million things before you can have that. No one is doing that to you. In fact, it's the opposite. It's yes. I want to be a multimillionaire. Yes. Things will unfold to take you to that position. I want to be in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. Yes. But your job when we're manifesting these things, when we're deciding that's who we are, is to decide that's who you are. It's to know yourself as the I am. Everything will be added unto you. But remember, the answer is yes. So when you're deciding, I don't think anything is changing, not a damn thing has happened, I haven't heard from my specific person, I don't even know if they're single at this point, they could be with someone else, this just doesn't seem to be working. The answer is yes. Yes, you're right. Let me show you how you're right. And we experience evidence. But even that shitty evidence, if you start deciding today that you are who you want to be, I am that. I am. Even the shitty circumstances, the shitty evidence will still in some way, shape, or form be twisted and turned to bring you to exactly what you want. The answer is never no. Really isn't. I'm wearing my I am deeply, passionately obsessed over and loved glasses on as I am going on a walk for myself to look better for me. Now that's how you do it, my friend. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Crab Claws. How should I approach intending for my music to make it worldwide and a success? Who would that be? What version of you would that be? You are that. I am that. Please understand that when you hear me say, tell yourself, I am blah, blah, blah. I am the version of self whose music is worldwide and you're a success. I don't mean some sloppy ass affirmation that you don't even, you have nothing, you have no essence to it, you have no feeling when you say it to yourself. Again, we're not chasing feelings, but I'm saying they're not just unimportant words. This, your I am, is your true self. It's who you are before your crab claws. You're the I am. So knowing that that's what you're saying, when you tell yourself who you are, you're selecting your identity. You're moving into that version of yourself. That's what I mean when I say finish that sentence. See what I mean? I hope. All right, my friends. This is where I must bid you a fond adieu. It's time to go cook dinner. So I have, well, their username was Crab Claws. That's why I said before your crab claws. That's why I said that, not to make fun of them. Well, Crab Claws, you're welcome. But you knew that I only used your username. It's not because I was saying Crab Claws. All right. To the exclusive live channel members, I shall see you tomorrow evening at 8 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. If you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about, that is the Success Story Tips and Tricks Zhuzh only group. We go live together every week. along with the advanced manifestors. That meeting was today, 11 a.m. It's normally 10:45. It's 11 a.m. today. That's where we deep dive and expand our awareness on conscious manifestation. But that group gives you the free access to all the other groups, like the exclusive lives. And the advanced manifestors, they get the random private live stream like we had on Sunday, with my hair on top of my head, no makeup on, still in my lounging around the house like a bum outfit on. So then we have the hot seat. So the advanced manifestors also gives you the access to the hot seat group. And the advanced manifestors are the only ones who get the replays. Hot seat get their hot seat though. But nobody gets the exclusive lives except for the advanced manifestors. Anyway, I'm done selling myself. Okay? I love you all. Thank you very much for being here with me today. And I will see you tomorrow. Be good. Who are you being? Who do you want to be?